let's do a activity, okay?
Okay.
I need 2 people in one group, okay? Get out a piece of notepaper. What I want you guys to do is, you guys will set up a table, just like we said this. Give X, give Y values, give X value, give Y values, and then come up with a function for me. Okay? You do it, and then exchange it to the 2 people that are in front of you, so they can check your work. Let me show you what I want you to do. Go to her and do we have to
We have to what?
the pen for it? Okay, you guys have your notebook out? Yes. Madison. You might have to move if you keep copying again, okay? For example, I will give a table. X, Y. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 4, 6, 8. Who can tell me what is the pattern? Madison? 2. Yes. But I want you to write as a function for me. So a function y equals x times 2. Right? But I prefer writing the number before the variable. So I write 2x. Right?
Yeah.
So I want you guys to come up with something like this. But don't use my number. These are my number. Okay? You're not allowed to use my numbers. Use something else. Okay?
Wait, what?
Use something else. Come up with a table and then come up with a pattern, the function for me. You have 5 minutes to do it. And then exchange it to the people in front of you so they can check your work. So they can check your work. You want to move here and work with Marco?
Okay.
You have 5 minutes and then check with the opposite.
I'm gonna put Isabella.
I thought you were going to use my number.
Partner's supposed to use the same.
Yeah, partner should have the same. Talk to each other. Come up with the-
So we have to do. Can you seriously just say just kidding? Yeah. Oh my god, Bella. What? Wait, we only have to have 1 copy? Oh yeah, for real. It's really is. Oh.
Yes.
Make our own.
You have to make your own number, make your own function.
But like not together.
Know how to compare. Come up with the same.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
that's why we work in pairs. That's why you need to communicate.
So I don't, it's not both of us, it's just one of us.
No, it is.
It's both of you guys come up with just one set of table. Okay, so hold on to it. And then later you guys gonna pass your table to Crystal and Willow. Crystal and Willow pass your
See, it
table
is only
to
one. So this
Juan.
is okay.
And then Juan
It's just
pass their table to you guys. You guys have to-
Wait,
You come up with this, but you have to come up with a rule, the pattern for them.
Yeah, I would figure
That's your answer. Yeah, something like that. Come up with the
Miss Tran.
answer. Yes,
We are supposed to do the same one, right? It's okay.
yes, you guys have to do the same one.
Oh, so we can say one copy. Yeah.
You can just have one copy.
This is the lesson which they have to learn about the relation function. Before this activity, students and teachers already participated in a math play game online. A website called Function Machine which the, they input a number and the machine will make an output number so that they can be engaged in learning the key concept of the function. Then in this activity, they will work in pairs to come up with the table of numbers and then figure out the function based on the data that they created. The teaching strategy that I used here is the think, pair, share strategy. Students will have to think about the numbers, then work with their partners to create a table and conclude the relationship of the input and the output. After that, they will share the function that they just found with other groups. I apply the constructivism learning theory, mental process in which a learner takes many separate pieces of information and uses them to build an overall understanding or interpretation. On Broad, 2011, page 218. I walked around the classroom and monitored student progress toward meeting the objectives of the lesson, which is student will be able to understand that a function is a relation, a rule that assigns one input to exactly one output. The graph of a function is a set of order pairs consisting of an input and a corresponding output. I also collect their work as a form of assessment so that I can reflect on my teaching and students' understanding of the content knowledge. Students often confused about the graphing of order pair. They a lot of time misunderstanding the actual meaning of the order pair on the coordinate plane. In this lesson, I have taught them that coordinate order pair, which means a pair of numbers corresponding to the x-axis and the y-axis. Their value go together in the parentheses. That is why we call it order pair on the coordinate plane. I did identify instructional needs related to vocabulary development by reviewing the vocabularies which they learned from the previous days in the beginning of the lesson. I asked the student to repeat the mathematical terms so that they have the connection between the prior knowledge and the new lesson. They also were very engaging in this activity.
What is my slope in here?
Your slope is over to
Slope is Q, right?
y
What?
equals to 3, negative 3.
My y-intercept is,
Negative 3.
okay, so we know my graph will, what does it mean y-intercept? I know my graph will cross y-axis at negative 3. Right? So now my graph will go through this point. Right? That's the idea of the y-intercept, because it cuts the line, the y-axis at the y-intercept. That's what we call intercept. Where it meet, where it cut, right? So and then the second part, we know the slope. We learn the slope. Rise over run, right? So when we see this, it implies that we have 1 underneath. And we learn that slope is rise over run. What does it mean on that one? Where is my rise? Go up 2, go to the right 1, right? Run 1.
Yeah. from your point.
Go up 2. Go 1. Right, guys? And now we have 2 points. We will connect them to make a graph. So it's a lot faster than doing the table, right? Okay, a minute, take notes. Okay. We write the equation of this graph in slope-intercept form. How do we write it in the intercept form? What is my slope-intercept form? Y equals mx plus b. What is my b in here? Where's my b?
Oh, 2.
Yeah, it's cut the y-axis in here, so I know it's 2, right? Where's my m? You see the graph, you know? You see when I cut? I have it right here. So it's see easy. It's right here. So what is this? Go 3 over.
Four negative one.
What did we learn about 4 slope?
Riser one.
No, the slope we have. When this shape, it means the slope has to be negative. If you give me a positive number, it's not making sense. No, 4 is my run.
3
Close.
over 4.
Negative 3.
Negative 3 is 4.
That would be my equation,
Oh my gosh.
right? If you say 3, it doesn't make sense. The foldable we did yesterday, the shape like that means that we somehow, if we have a positive number, it's wrong, right? If the shape like this, and you have a positive number on the slope,
It'd be
makes
opposite.
sense, right? But our graph is like that. No, take note. Oh, I didn't check your notes. Last couple of days, too much going on. That's why. Tom, did you fit?
This lesson is about slope-intercept form of a linear equation. The Common Core practice standard was using model in mathematics to model to the students until the students can do the problems on their own. Lesson is scaffolded so that students can visualize and understand the content. I started the lesson with easier concepts, then working toward more complex problems. This is applying the socio-cultural learning theory, the zone of proximal development, aka the ZPD. Modeling and scaffolding show an example, and then students will do one on their own. As the base stabilized, the scaffolding becomes less necessary and eventually being removed. Broad 2011. In addition, students will create a foldable later so that they will be able to find rates of change from tables and graphs. They also will be able to find slope from the way we derive the slope, which is rise over run or vertical change over horizontal change, and then they will be able to write equation in slope-intercept form. The foldable will be a reviewable note for students as they move on to the more complex materials, as well as being a form of formative assessment. The common error that students make was confusing between positive and negative numbers, as well as identifying the point value of the y-intercept. Also, they have not had a strong foundation of what slope means. The academic strength of students in this lesson was that they were able to make connection of y-intercept means the starting point where the line crosses the y-axis. The needs of all students were that they need to develop more about their using of academic language proficiency in speaking. In this video, I did not identify instructional needs related to vocabulary development. This will be the weakness of my lesson. I was in a hurry to deliver my lesson, and I have learned that my lesson was totally procedural with no attempt at conceptual understanding.
Negative 2x plus 3. Well, one do we need to be divided? If it's negative, we will divide it, but it's positive, we don't have to, right? Or you want to still divide it by 1? Okay, so how do I start graph this line? 3, right? And remember, label your line. Okay, guys? Label your line. This line is. Oh my god. Sorry, guys, I forgot. And then this line, I start at 3. Go up or down? Why? Go down, right? Down 2 and go 1. So that's my second point. And then the third one, go down again, go over. Okay, that's my red line. They are crossing, right? And label my line. I have to label my line. Y equals, okay? Who can tell me what is the intersection with the solution of this system equation?
It would be negative 1 and
Negative 1 and
3.
No.
It's 4.
It's 2. I mean, that's why we don't like graphing, right? Because by hand, I mean, I need ruler, I need very, very accurate. But I can tell it's 2 because they touch. So let's double check. Okay? You want to double check? Good. So we say the solution is what one, guys?
It's 2 and negative 1.
2 and negative 1. So we'll double check. How do I check? You plug it in both. If it satisfies both equations, it will be correct, right? So this one, negative 1. I plug it in, and I have x is 2, right? You can see what I'm doing. Okay? This is my x. This is my y. Okay? And I have negative 1. What is 2 times 2? 4, right? What is 4 minus 5? Well, negative 1, right? And what can we tell about this? It is? Yes, right, it's the solution of that line, it's correct, right? So for the second line, I'll put in negative 1, negative 2, and x is 2, right? Plus 3. Then what do I have? What negative 2 times 2 is? Negative 4 plus 3 is? Negative 1, and it is? What can I tell about this? It's the solution is correct. It satisfies both lines. It is on both lines. So
This lesson is the review lesson before students taking a quiz on solving system of linear equations by graphing. Before they learn this, they have watched the video about 3 methods of solving system of linear equations, and they have been told that graphing is the least accurate method of solving system of linear equations. Cognitive learning theory was being applied. Attention is critical factor. For information to be moved into working memory, it must be attended to. Students will be more motivated to learn information if there is a meaningful connection with prior knowledge. Broad, 2011, page 199. In this lesson, the student have to connect the prior knowledge, which means the graphing skills, with the solving multi-step equations, and then moving forward to using graphing to solve system of linear equations. The strategy that I used was asking guiding questions to check on students' understanding of materials, along with questioning students to guide their own discovery of how to solve a problem, as well as to motivate students to work on problem. What patterns of students' errors were that they tend to add or subtract the numbers which look alike. They often take 2 minus 2x equal x, which they confuse between 2 is just a number and 2x is the whole term, including a coefficient and a variable x. They were struggling in eliminating the whole terms by using the opposite operation. Prior knowledge have always been the obstacle which holds the student back. They also lack the skills in adding or subtracting negative numbers and fractions. In brief, after my teaching, in the future, I will have to pay more attention on academic strengths and needs of all students within the full range of academic language proficiency. I did well on the function machine activity, which helps students who are language learners. The next steps, I will be moving forward to address the identified needs of my learners, including their acquisition of content, knowledge, language, and literacy skills by giving out knowledge rating worksheets before the lesson started to check their prior knowledge and to know what skills or areas we need to go back and review for them. Along with the knowledge rating worksheet, I will create more graphic organizers or charts to help my students, visual learners, as well as students with language needs. The strengths of my teaching practice that I acquired in my teaching experience during guided practice A. I learned that an engaging lesson will help classroom management. I have learned a lot about how to create an engaging lesson so that less classroom behaviors and the students will be able to acquire more of the content knowledge. I also learned that showing them how to derive formula will help them understand the conceptual meaning of the formula rather than just giving them the formula. The formula has to have meaning to the students, or it will not help if formula just being given to them. I asked my students take notes, but I need to make sure that they truly understand what they are writing down. Otherwise, the notes are just words with very little meaning. The challenges or problems in my practice which I have identified was that I sometimes forget that the students are learning the content knowledge the first time. They just see the materials and they have never seen the materials, and then they will get lost easily. What I have learned from Professor Berlin was that I have to imagine myself in an advanced math class going over topics which I have never seen before, and think about how quickly I would understand it and what I would do if I didn't understand what the instructor was saying right away. I would lose my attention when I'm confused, and then I will be behind and further behind. And from my own thinking and experience, I will have to make lesson not only engaging but also flow and have connections to the information they are learning. Moreover, I would like to systematically change to improve the learning of individuals and collective learners in my guided practice B placement by focusing on why they are doing certain procedures as opposed to how to do them.